It takes 7 days on SR, on retainment, on semen retention, to materialize and change your physical reality and to materialize that which is your heart's intention, right? The direction that you want to move. And the reason why I've labeled it as 7 days is because every time when I go on that 7-day streak, right? Not that it's about the numbers, but 7 holds power, all right? It's spiritually charged, it's energetically and spiritually charged. So when you retain for 7 days, you will then see things start to change. Every time I do this, I witness the same patterns unfold, right? I see that my reality starts to change, especially when it comes to the physical side of things, all right? Because after about day 3, you actually, what happens is that your system, your soul and system start to align. So you start to feel more, you walk with more integrity, right? Your aura starts to purify and the real version of you starts to come out, which is your soul, which is that infinite part of which you are, right? So also physically, testosterone after 7 days, a study was done in the early 2000s that testosterone is boosted by 144%. This is free testosterone, of course, which means it still needs to be converted into testosterone, I'm assuming. But there's a 144% increase after 7 days of retaining your seed, right? So physically, we can see there's some scientific evidence, but we don't just need scientific evidence. We need evidence of personal experience and the spiritual evidence, and also the evidence that our life is actually changing, right? So why is 7 such an important number when it comes to reaching that point of, altering your reality? And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to mention a few references in spiritual texts, right, that talk about this. So one is from the Holy Bible, one is from the Bhagavad Gita, one is from the Tao Te Ching, one is from the Kybalion, and one is to do with esoteric systems and these kinds of things, right? So let's look at the Holy Bible, which this number 7 is significant, right? So it was 7 days of creation, which is the completion of a cycle. 7th day is obviously the day of rest, which is the integration and the rest. There were 7 seals, 7 trumpets, which signifies spiritual progression. And in the Bible, I know they mention about the forgiveness of God or of Jesus is 70 times 7. And this is basically spiritual mastery to be able to, of course, love and forgive. So we can see here, when we talk about 7 days of creation, it's not per 7 days, I would say, in like what we have today, but we do see it means the completion of a cycle. There's something that's been created, right? And what comes to me is that your seed and your life force, this is a power of creation, right? So it's a power of creation. So meaning that it holds some value, and in value of creation, in value of physical, in relation to physical reality, being able to create something within that realm, right? So in the Bhagavad Gita and yogic philosophy, it speaks of the 7 chakras from your base to your crown. It also speaks of that sexual energy is the foundational life force, right? Which is very important because sexual energy is very strong, the Muladhara. And also it speaks of that retention builds Ojas, which is vital essence. And Ojas converts to Tejas, which is radiance, right? So within 7 days, you allow your lower sexual energy to rise toward higher centers in these, in the chakra system, in these energy points within the body. And you can see that when after you pass that 7-day mark, there's more vitality, right? There's more radiance. Like I said, your aura purifies, and this is based on personal experience. In the Tao Te Ching and Taoist alchemy, we have this theme of Jing, Qi, and Shen. So Jing is sexual essence. Retention, so this thing of semen retention, preserves Jing. Preserved Jing transforms into Qi or Qi, which is the energy. And then the Qi or Qi refines into Shen, which is spirit/presence. As you go on this journey, reaching that 7th day, you feel more present. Your attention's better. Things don't seem to distract you as easily. You know, the smaller things, wanting to just brain rot, wanting to just sit around, laze around, feeling unmotivated. All of those things leave because you start building up this energy, right? It's like this energy circulating in your body. And it's not like you're taking like a caffeinated drink or stimulant or something. It's more of an energy of like an enduring long-term energy. It's not that spike of motivation. It's more of like, you know what, I can actually maintain this. It's more of a consistency motivation. So motivation that's consistent. So we are essentially transmuting this jing into ultimately chi and shen, right? So that's what they speak about in this. So in order to, from our personal experience, this is just an anecdote, but that 7 days allows for this process to happen. In the Kybalion, it also speaks of 7. We have 7 Hermetic principles, right? There's 7 Hermetic principles. And through these principles, you obviously learn particular things about yourself, about the world, and about how you move in the world, about how you approach things, etc., etc. And I feel like when you go through the 7 Hermetic principles, which I've gone through before, but when you go through that process, it's like what happens is that you start seeing it in your life play out. So you start seeing it actually play out. You start seeing it make sense. You actually learn the Hermetic principles by absorbing the principle into your life, and then also that it happens in a real world experience where you actually see it play out, which is very interesting. And then we have the normal meaning of, you know, the number 7, which symbolizes introspection, wisdom, mysticism, and higher consciousness. 7 is the number of the seeker and inner mastery. If you can with yourself commit to 7 days of doing this, you will see things in your physical environment start to change. You will see things coming up in your favor. But if you can commit to these 7 days, you will see transformation, and you will see things start to change for you. And maybe, just maybe, things going in your favor. So it's worth a shot, right? Take 7 days to materialize your desired reality and to see the things that you really want in your experience, in your life. Peace out.